Welcome to ATB TV. It probably should be ATB Radio this week. I've got Darren on the end of the mobile phone or phone, and I'm sitting in front of my laptop. So a different way to bring the viewers or the listeners our ATB Radio this week, Darren.
G'day, Pete. So does that mean they just get to see your head?
Well, I'm trying to work out what I put on there for them to look at for 15 minutes.
Well, one thing is, Pete, I can go away on holidays, but I can't get away from you.
Yeah, well, that's right. The mobile phones, it's pretty hard to hide from anyone these days. But
back on the plane this afternoon,
yep.
Back to sunny Victoria. The coastal clothes will go back in the cupboard until February, and the jeans and jumpers will come out in Victoria, I'm told.
Well, the sun is out, and it's probably a, what do you call it, 16, a little bit of coolness in the air. Sun's doing very little. It's a typical Ballarat day, which Balan would be pretty similar.
Well, up here at Coffs Harbour for the week, Pete, it was easy to spot the Victorians.
Yeah.
They were either translucent white or red as a lobster.
I was going to say,
One of the two.
melting in the sun.
But anyway, that 7 days is over, so we're about to head to the airport, so I just thought we'd check in and get ATV sorted out. I just want to say before you start, really enjoyed listening to young Alex from Mitch Friedman's last week. I thought he's a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, no, terrific, and he enjoyed it, and it's amazing to hear the background of how people get into racing, and obviously Alex come through where a lot of his family didn't, but just his, with Mick Leonard being his uncle, and that's how he got introduced, and he's forged a really good career after being at the Ballarat Turf Club as part of the admin there, and hooked up with Mitch about 2 years ago, and flying and actually absolutely loving his job, and it was his birthday yesterday, so happy birthday to Alex if he is listening, but yeah, breath of fresh air.
It's always good to see some of the horses after this and sort of win their books. I think, just watching the videos that we all get as owners from the trainers, they all seem to be sort of 100 yards away on an iPhone with no Zoom feature and working good, feeling good and looking good, and it's just nice to see one poking his head over the box in the background.
Yeah, he was having a bit of a look, and if he wasn't having a look, he was trying to kick the box down there at one stage, but he's obviously one we'll have a chat about. He was pretty good first up, considering he'd never been at that trip before, but we'll might as well roll into him, Darren, and we'll kick off with our promising mare, Steinem, who was very good in running third in the Group 1 Northerly. John Allen on. Not everything went her way, but look, she was brave and fantastic result without winning.
Yeah, well, to run third in a Group 1 is outstanding, especially to get beaten by a potential star of the turf in Amelia's Dream. Looks the real deal, that horse, and even Ironclad was brave in the second, and Steinem poked up into third, and you had Cascadian there running fourth. So, as you said, not everything went right. She was very, very cantankerous in the gates. She's very naughty in the gates. And I give full credit to Johnny Allen. I think a lot of other riders would have jumped off. I think she would have been pulled out and vetted, and then you might not get a run, or you might get too stirred up. So credit to Johnny Allen for laying down on her and persevering and getting her out of the gates. In discussion sense, we will have to trial our next prep and get a barrier blanket on her to stop all that happening.
Yeah.
But she's naughty in the gates. But look, she jumped out and she was on the back foot because of that. And I thought he rode her really well up the fence. Got a little check there, got a little bit held up. Had to zig and zag a little bit, but at one point there, when she poked up the fence, I thought she was going to go straight on and win it. But credit to the winner, a very, very good horse. And I don't know the exact weight, but I think we had to give it at least 4 kilos.
Yeah.
So yeah. I thought it was a great run. And it's a lot of value to that mare. There was a big group that went over to watch her run. And I've spoken to them, and they were all very, very excited. And they had a pretty big weekend, and looks like they're all going to go back in a fortnight.
Yeah, there's a race picked out for her, which it's a group race over 2100, is that right?
Group 2, 2100 in a fortnight, and Amelia's Dream and Cascadia certainly won't be there. So I guess I'm not sure what Ironclad's doing with Will Clarkin, but if they're not there and we're the only one, then I'm sure she'll be a $2 favourite.
Is it a fillies and mares, Darren, only?
No, just a Group 2.
Just a Group 2, yeah. Oh, well, look,
she'll get a chance, 2100, so she gets a chance to win a Group 2. She's a Group 3 winner, she's Group 2 place, she's Group 1 place.
Yeah.
Very, very valuable mare. And very exciting mare. And as a result of all that, she'll have that run in Perth in a week or so, and then she'll be freshened up and she'll be aimed towards the Australian Cup next year. So, you know, really, really good plans, and just nice to have a horse that, you know, that will be competing at that level.
I think, too, it really shows that we had an extended run of bad luck with gates and wet tracks and everything like that. And, you know, she obviously really appreciates the top of the ground. And you just, you know, from that barrier, if you miss the start like she did from barrier 14, you're out of the race. But from gate 5, and Johnny, like you said, he was composed. He didn't bustle her. Just got her into a nice rhythm. And you could see him trying to get to the outside on the home turn, and that wasn't going to work. He took his medicine, and I actually stood up at the 150. It was the perspective of the vision looked like she'd actually got pretty close to the lead, but the winner had a nice run. I mean, how often from gate 1 do you get off the fence and sit in the 1-1 basically? So things went her way, but look, she was really good. I'd say that's probably the run of her career, and hopefully she can build on it in a fortnight.
Yeah, I think what he says is right. Like, she won a Group 3 in November last year at Sandown. And up until the matriarch at Flemington in November this year, she hadn't seen a firm track. She'd just been on wet tracks everywhere. Yeah. And in the end, we had to pull the plug and just wait, take our medicine and wait for the tracks to dry out. So, you know, she showed now that she's a firm track horse. She's shown now that, you know, she's that sort of, I think in Melbourne, she's that sort of Group 2, Group 3 horse. You know, if she gets in the right Group 1, she can do a bit of damage. Yeah. But I think Tara Ma said to me on Sunday, you haven't seen the best of her by a long way yet, and she'll just continue to improve as she continues to race. So that's something to really look forward to. Yeah, no, absolutely. Right stable for that. They certainly can keep them rolling along. So excellent result. I think Dan Murphy's will be busy sending a couple of freight trains over to replace the alcohol that the owners drank on Saturday night. So I think they all got their full whack over there, and want to give Graham Ferguson a special mention. Did an outstanding job there. The local owner there, him and Gabby, organised all the dining for the clients. Took them all out. Took them organised dinner on the Saturday night, and I know he's a good friend of yours, Graham, Pete, and you went to Hong Kong with him and had a great time. And he was in full flight over there on Saturday night, and without him, they would have been probably all jammed in McDonald's on Saturday night.
Nice little segue in, Darren. My Facebook memories come up today. It's 5 years today that we're on a harbour in Hong Kong, and there was Ferganator, there was Kerry Canning, and there are quite a few. And yeah, I always feel it was a 30-second bit of vision, and I could hear someone go, and here comes the Ferganator. Well, it brought back memories and headaches listening to that. But no, good on to Ferg. It's not very often he can get one of our horses that he's in race basically on his front doorstep, and I'm no doubt he would have lapped up that weekend last weekend, and good on him.
Well, he's been part of the team for probably over 10 years now, and he's got two very good horses with us now, Detonator Jack and Steinem. So he's having the time of his life, and he actually rang me up and said, should I get into another one? I said, no, mate, just enjoy the two you got for now.
Absolutely. We'll roll back to Victoria, same day. We had a Dandy Man, and we mentioned, obviously, we spoke to Alex, and he was the star of the show, a Dandy Man last week. Kicked off in what was at an unsuitable trip at 1,200, and against a very nice filly going forward in Invincible Caviar. I reckon he was good to the 150, and then probably just conditions sold out. And look, he's about a 1,400 metre horse. They basically went to this race rather than another trial. Picked up $1,600 rather than forking out $100 to trial, and look, he's ready to go to $1,400 now.
Yeah, well, we probably get $1,600 in one hand and then get charged $500 float fee strapped as a tender, so we're probably in the red, Pete.
Well, you do. They go on the trials anyway, don't you? So.
Oh, man. Yeah. Anyway, look, first up 1200 was probably a trial. Look, he ran okay. His times were good. His sectionals were good. He's just not sharp enough to go when they sprint it, over that distance. So, look, hopefully that tightens him up. His trials have been good. He's probably going better this time than he's ever gone. So, I guess second up wherever they take him. When we get 1,400, that's really going to tell us where we're at.
That's it. There's plenty of options. I think they're looking at Boxing Day for what Alex said yesterday. So,
Boxing Day?
Yeah, I think it was Boxing Day, which is another fortnight. It's not far away, Darren, Christmas.
Oh, now you're scaring me.
So, but he returning good Fettel. So, he's got a couple of wins. He's at that rating where he can certainly be competitive in 70 and 78.
Another horse that needs top of the ground, so we're looking at him at the right time, and that was always the plan to race him over the summer months.
Yep, that's it. And speaking of our only other runner, which was yesterday, and he's been looking for top of the ground too. Probably not too firm, but perfect where it is now, and that's Supreme Thunder, who ran second, followed on from a second basically the week before at Kyneton, where he didn't have a lot of luck. Yesterday he had every chance with a strong rider on, and the winner was basically just too good.
100%. On the corner, the eventual winner was struggling. We only had a lap full of horse, but didn't find much. It just whacks away.
Yeah.
But I think that winner's got good form. When you go deep into that form, it was just better than us.
Face the rest.
Frustrating animal. He's had 3 seconds in a row, I think, hasn't he?
Yeah.
We've jumped him up to a 64 to try to get a bit of weight off him, but yeah, he's just a bit one pace. He's going to win a race. He will win a race again, but that's probably a horse that we would probably say we don't want to give him another prep, so we'll probably move him on at the end of this prep.
Yeah.
But I think there's definitely a win in him, and there's probably wins in him up north somewhere.
Yeah.
For the next owner, but I think most of the owners know that he's not going to reach any great heights down here, but he can certainly win a few races up north. And I think you have one more run for us before the end of the year, either at Terang or Audible or Werribee, and that'll probably do us. But it'd be just nice if we could just snag another win and then sell him off the back of that. But look, he tries. He's just hasn't got that killer punch. And I reckon when he won his race at Cranbourne, he was even money, and he just fell in. And even though we're all happy that we won, everyone was the trainer at the time, Archie, was disappointed with him because he didn't, even yesterday, he looked like he was just going to win by 5, but just doesn't. He lacks that killer punch. So he's either very limited or he's looking for further. But he's probably come to the end of it with us by the end of the year.
Yeah, and he's come off. Has a smooth sailing injury-wise for the horse as well, so he's probably doing a good job for where he is.
Yep. Well, he's been very, very sound, but he just lacks a bit of killer punch. So, we've had a good run with him, and he's paying his way, but we're not getting the win we want. Yeah.
So we had, obviously a great Group 1 placing, had a Dandy Man kick off Cobwebs and Supreme Thunder. So no winner, but a bit of joy amongst those runners.
Group 1 third every day of the week.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 runners coming up, and they're both tomorrow, and they're both at Sandown. We'll kick off with Detonator Jack, who he comes up against the horse that beat him last start. We probably get conditions probably to suit us a little bit better. Top of the ground, out to a mile, to benchmark 100. Harry Coffey replaces the suspended John Allen. I didn't realise he got time. I don't know for what ride, but he's on a little holiday. So Harry's reunited.
I reckon he might have got suspended on his partner's horse.
Oh, at Hamilton.
During the week.
Yeah, right. I did.
Might have got a week for that. But,
it must have been a promised Christmas present because he was punching through the pack hard and the gap never opened up. He tried to force him. So,
it's been about a week.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway, we haven't lost nothing with Harry Coffey. He's been on the horse. I think he rode it first up, didn't he?
Yeah, debut win, I'm sure, at Bendigo. Yes.
Odds on this horse.
Yeah, and in from sort of even money to $1.75. I'm listening on the radio.
Well, Peter, I hope they're right because I don't want another odds on forever getting beat this week.
No. It looks a 2-horse race every time you say that. There's a blouser, but look, he's Sandown. We've seen him there, and he loves the big tracks. It's not a big field.
All indicators, all form students are all saying he should be $1.50.
Yeah.
I've got respect for the Green Fly. I think it's a pretty smart horse. It's by Frankel.
Yep.
I think it's a very smart horse. I know they're saying it's just a wet tracker. That's fine, but it's an international. I don't think it's an easy walkover race. I think if our horse happens to clear out and win easily, then we probably have got a group horse in the making.
Yeah.
But we need to see it tomorrow, don't we?
Yeah, well, he was only 2 and a bit lengths behind. It's probably an inferior ground at Flemington when it was wet. So you can't say totally hopeless on it. And then he blouses down the outside. Look, we know we've got a nice horse, but you'd just like to see him do it, don't you?
Well, you get nervous when they're odds on and there's big raps on them, and you got every person on the trial file and everyone's talking him up and saying he's a serious horse and he's potentially a group horse, and you sort of start to get a bit nervous. If you got a 78, trying to win a 78, you're sort of hoping, but you're not nervous. But when you think you might have a good horse, everything changes. So, I'm sure we just got to see how he unfolds. But they say his data's good. He's improved off Ballarat. Drops about 6 kilos. Goes up 200. Gets his Hermes track. He's drawn well. But it's never. At the end of the day, they say it's a race. So anything can happen. But
I think that weight.
Looking forward to him going around. Looking forward to seeing. I just hope he gets a clear run and we don't come away with excuses. I hope if he gets beat, he gets beat. But if he smashes them, well, his rating's going to go up into the 90s, and that's what we're looking for at this prep. We're just trying to get his rating up towards 100, and we'll just poke around and get his rating up and up and up without, really gutting him because he's still got improvement, and he's just going to have a light time through these grade races. We don't want to get to black type until we have to. No. Because it's all about next spring, and we want to season him up, and we just need it all to go right. So we'll find out tomorrow a little bit more. But if you listen to all the experts, they've got him over the line already.
Yeah, it's the king of the multis, or the anchors in the multis at Ballarat. I reckon he's going to be.
I think the other indicator is the bookies breathed a sigh of relief that day. But the horse that ran second to him on Melbourne Cup Day come out and won again, and it's favourite for the big race in Sydney this weekend. So horse called Nugget. So all the indicators are that he's the real deal, and maybe the best jackalry that's hit the track to date. So there probably won't be many more of them. So we'll see what unfolds.
Yep. We will wait with bated breath and barrack hard. An Irishman goes around in the 2,400 metre benchmark 78 off the back of the backup at Warrnambool, which we never got to speak about. We did, me and Alex, but would have been interesting to get your feedback after that race at Warrnambool. But anyway, Pat's found he's always thought it'd be a 1.5 mile horse. Hey?
Probably best you never got me feedback. Probably best my feedback never went to you, because I'm sure it would have been a $5,000 fine, Pete.
Yeah, well, Moods has copped it, so I'm glad we were talking to Alex last week. We kept it fairly mild. So.
Well, Pat Ryan said he didn't do a post-race with the jock because he didn't want to get a fine.
Yep.
And he didn't want to upset the jock, and it's best just to walk away sometimes. And he said to me walking back to the stripping sheds, he was copping it off all the other trainers. He said he ruined the race. So he went home and put the horse in the paddock, didn't even stay for the day. And then he said he got home and copped it from his wife.
Oh, gee.
If he goes down that path again, he'll be living in the stable. So he was, because he missed out on the bonus for the 25 grand. So she wasn't happy. So Pat had a bad day. But look, it's going to be interesting tomorrow, 2,400. This is his last run before he goes out.
Yeah.
So he wanted to test him at 2,400. And I think that's okay.
Yep.
Let's find out if he is a stayer. His form's been really good. Done a tremendous job the other day to finish what he did, given the run he had.
Yep.
But look, if he can run 2,400, it opens up a whole different range of opportunities for us next prep. So I think it's a good plan, and it'll be really interesting to see how he goes. I think, he's what, a $6, $7 chance in that race at the moment. The favourite Wild Horse about $3. Yeah. I didn't think there was actually that much between them, but
I think the fact that Simon's horse had won in 2,400 probably he's already ticked that box, and that's probably the little question mark. But
anyway, we'll find out tomorrow, and if he happens to win or run top three, it'll be a pretty good prep.
He got mentioned in this morning on RSN. I was just doing the preview, and they said there's not a lot of speed. There's him and another one, so there's the option there to sit behind or take the lead up. So there's not going to be a lot of pressure up front. It's a matter of how.
I'm not aware whether it's on hillside or lakeside. Are you?
Put me there.
Because lakeside suits the leaders more than hillside. So anyway, just take note of which track it's on. If it's lakeside, it certainly benefits the leaders because they can really kick off that bend. If it's hillside, they can get rolled off that canvas. So
that's right.
We'll just all punters out there, just take heed.
Just have a look. Hillside.
Right.
Hillside.
So, can get run down there depending on the conditions. So it'll be interesting.
Anyway, it's been good to see. Like you said, it's a great opportunity to get him out to a mile and a half and have a look.
Yep.
Harry Grace.
For a short break.
Back to the Penzance Cup winning rider, Darren. Harry Grace.
Yes, well, Harry Grace should have rode the Jericho Day, shouldn't he?
The 3 kilos might have mattered, or whatever it was.
I think we took 3 off and put 10 on, but anyway, that's a different story.
So that wraps them up. So we've got a couple of nice chances tomorrow.
And then looking out further forward, what are we looking at the following week?
So Saturday week will be Hasseltoff over 1,800 at Flemington. I'll look forward to that. That's a track that is always performed well at, and the 1,800 will suit. Raise the Colours. Yeah, she obviously had a little setback, nothing major, but we'll look at nominations as they unfold earlier in the week, and then probably not much else, Darren.
Steinem.
Obviously Steinem in her race, yeah. Yep. But yeah, not much else.
Well, we have narrowed the numbers down, and we all know that that's part of the plan, is to the ones that are not paying their way has to go, and we just need to clean it up a bit before we launch again. So we'll just see what happens in the new year with new horses, but at this stage we're pretty happy with the ones we've got.
Yeah, no, they're all competitive and racing well. That's like you said, you got to weed them out, otherwise the way it is with training fees and horses not paying their way, it can certainly
empty the budget.
Put people off too, and you want them on board.
Now next week, is that our Christmas edition?
So we're the 9th, 16th. We possibly could have 2. It just depends when we rattle out the Christmas edition. Yeah. So at least next week.
Close, but yeah, we'll definitely work it out for next week. I'll be back on deck next week.
Yep.
So we'll get into it. But we've had a good run, and just looking at our number of runners and our strike rates.
Terrific.
I think we're running at about 17% winners or just under, and now I think our place rate's about 40.
Place rate is one placing off 50%. I've updated it. I think we're like 29 placings from 59 starts.
So if those 2 run a place tomorrow, we probably end up placing a 50 plus.
50 plus, and our wins about 16-ish, which is that's
anything over 16 is good.
16's you're above average at 16, and above that you're hitting the elite areas really.
Elite, Now, once you get to 20, it's very elite. It's very well placed. But anyway, we've got to be happy with where we are and the way the horses are going generally at the moment.
I think that speaks for the management of the horses over the last 12 months, really.
Yeah, well, they're all in different grades. I mean, some are struggling to win a 58, 64, and then you got others that are running in group level. So it's all about placement, isn't it? At the end of the day, it's all about placement. And we rely on these trainers, to really put them in races where they can be competitive.
Well, I think an Irishman.
And we also rely on, trainers and ourselves to advise owners when it's time to move them on.
Yeah.
I think that's what we have to do.
An Irishman's a perfect example. Mar sort of said to us, look, maybe go to a cheaper trainer. Pat Ryan had obviously done some good work previously, and like that horse Well, I don't know how many runs he's had for Pat, but he's striking 75% top 4, top 5 finishes. So,
yeah, well, when he left Mars, he was pulling and carrying on. Obviously, he just needed more ground. You know, it was probably a close call that we didn't actually just sell him online, but
yeah,
you know, just a different environment and getting him out in ground and just placing him in those country cups. It's been really good. And I suppose we should give a special mention to Bev Skidmore, who was the successful bidder on the auction and picked up the cup from Penzhurst.
That'll sit proudly on the mantelpiece. It's a big bit of equipment.
He said she's actually made room for it. So I think a few family photos have gone into the top drawer.
That'll be proudly showing a Christmas lunch by the sounds.
And just a side issue, I think race 2 at Maui today, there's a horse we bred called Hoofs Don't Lie for the Hayes Davenant team out of our mare Kaltara. It's going off in race 2 at Maui today. I think you can get $1.60 about it.
Obviously goes along okay. Quickly.
Yeah, it's placed in town, so I think they're just trying to get that win on the board to get a run in town, I would think.
Yep. All right. We'll
there's one, and then obviously, yeah, we're in full swing for the Gold Coast yearling sales. It's the 3 well deep into their prep up there at Tyrrell Stud, and then 2nd of January, all the Melbourne yearlings will be in, and we'll be marching on towards the Melbourne Premier Sale with 11 of those. So here we go.
The big racing wheel keeps spinning.
There's not much downtime, but I'm glad I've had a week away.
Very good.
All right, we'll wrap it up there, and we'll tune in next week, and we'll choose Detonator Jack and an Irishman home tomorrow.
Yeah,
what do we do there, Pete?
What's that?
Detonator Jack the win, Irishman the place?
Yeah, I think that's the way to go. And I know if you want to have a little bit win-win.
There's only 9 runners in an Irishman's race, so win wouldn't shock, would it?
Well, you're going to get... You're going to, $7 that'll take it out to $12 if you want to throw Detonator Jack in. So, yeah, it wouldn't surprise. I mean, it's if you're going to go to town and you're not going to find much weaker at 1.5 miles. So,
right time of year, isn't it?
Right time of year for the right type of horse. So, but I think that's the best way to go. Detonator Jack, it'd be $2.50 the place, an Irishman. So all of a sudden you probably end up getting $4, $5 about Detonator Jack if you can run a drum. That'll do.
Petrol for the motor.
We will be back ATB TV next week, not ATB Radio.
All the best. Have a great week.
Bye, guys.